Hello everyone, Jen here for Jenn DuBell Designs and Country Craft Creations. And today, Country Craft Creations is hosting a back to school YouTube hop. 5 of us designers are going to be using school themed paper collections. The kickoff will be at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Friday, August 9th. There will be 2 projects on Friday and 3 projects on Saturday. And there'll be 3 giveaway prizes that will be selected through a random drawing based on applicable entries. Ways to enter the giveaway will be provided in the kickoff video on Friday. And the next person on the hop will be listed below. Please make sure that you check the description in my video description box for all of the rules for our giveaway. So with that being said, I am using for my project one of the Simple Stories snap binders in black and the exclusive Country Craft Creations school themed paper called School. So I'm going to flip through this really quick and then I will be on to the tutorial to show you what I did. Now this is a binder. So there are rings. I have basically wanted to just show you what you can. This is the first one I've ever made. And I basically wanted to show you what you can do with it. I have a couple pages left over I didn't use. There's just many options with these. So as I was doing it and showing, I was also learning how to use these as well. So I did take a fussy cut from one of the papers and pop that up on foam for the front, and this gorgeous ribbon duo here, the little skinny ribbon with red with the white polka dots, and then this gorgeous check. So that wraps all the way around to the inside. I did the inside covers. I did not add pockets or anything. You could add pockets to the inside. We will make 2 of these fun flap add-ons. This is one of the dividers that was cut to make a table of contents. And I decorated this page with one of the little cutouts, little pocket for a photo mat. On the back side, a side pocket. This is also a photo mat pocket, and I used one of the pages that does come with. This is one of the page protectors in the full page size, and we will make this along with showing you how to do some of the ways you can use these different ones with stamps or doodling. Here is the second one of those. This is another page we will do. The divider, another full page that goes inside, and I will be showing you how to add some of the cut aparts putting them on the inside or the outside. Here we will have pockets. I have another photo mat, which I will show you how to use your jelly roll pins to make these fun little marks. Page for a large photo. On the back we have a belly band, another pocket page using the grid, and then we just have some full page and picture pages, another divider. This one was collaged, and then the rest of these are just the paper cut to make mats. And I did leave the extra stuff in here that I didn't use. But you don't have to do that. You can either finish them all, put more paper in them, or you can just take them out and use them for something else. So, on to my tutorial. All right, so for my back to school hop, like I showed, I am doing one of the Simple Stories snap binders, and I have this one. It is with the black binding on the spine. And the first thing I want to show you is how I'm going to decorate, and then I will do the page by page. I did some adding of things, but you will get to see all the decorating and how these little binders work and the different things that you can do with them. So first off, I'm going to decorate my inside, and I have cut, again, I'm using the school paper from Country Craft Creations, and I am going to grab my glue. First of all, I am going to add paper to the inside, and I've just cut the bottom of this sheet down. I had to use 2 to make them both wide enough. So you'll see a little extra of that pencil. You can see there's a little overlap. Because these do measure, if I could find my ruler, I am losing things this morning. I have 6 1/4 by 8 1/2 is what these measure. So I did have to cut from one and from the other, and that is the reverse of this. You could do both this. I really liked this. So now what I'm trying to decide is if I want to ink my pages or just leave it. And I think I'm just going to leave it clean. If I was going to ink, I would probably do it in black soot distress ink. But I am just going to glue these down. Hopefully everything's showing up on camera here. Yeah. My lighting today is a little, it's kind of overcasty outside, so I don't have my window open because it causes kind of a weird glare that I don't care for. But I want to see some of that craft around the outside. The color of the binder is craft. So I'm just going to smooth out all my glue. And that is that portion, and then we will do the back portion. Glue that down. Again, I'm trying to leave about 1/8 of an inch of the binder color, the craft, showing. And try to keep this even. And it looks like they may not have this exactly even. Or I cut it funny. But either way, it works. We're just decorating the inside so it's not plain. It's more for looks, and you could add, if you wanted to add something to this, you could add some pictures. And then for our cover, I'm going to add ribbon to this, but I have selected this one with the apples, and then I fussy cut the bus out, and I'm going to put that down here at the bottom. So you could do either one, but I think that's too plain. I'm going to go with the apple side. Oh, and this should be about the same. Let's double check. Yeah, 6 1/4 by 8 1/2. I want this to be just like the inside. I want to see some of that craft color. And I got a little too much of it. And I am using art glitter glue, of course. Yeah, I do think that this fabric is not completely even on here. But there will be ribbon on here, so that will not matter. And then our little bus, I'm probably going to pop up on some foam. So I'm going to grab that. All right, I'm going to push this over so you can see. So I have flipped my little bus over, and I have some 1/2 inch foam tape that I am going to get as close to the edges on these as I can. I've got some non-stick scissors here. And I don't want any lumpy bumpies with my paper, so it's probably going to take quite a bit of this foam in order for me not to have too many spots where it doesn't like cave in when you touch it. I kind of want it to be as even as possible. If I don't have any foam tape sheets. If I did, that would probably work better. So if you have like a full foam tape sheet or the larger rolls that Tamara was carrying. She doesn't have any right now, but if you happen to have bought some of those, that would also work. So I am just cutting these pieces and putting them about 1/8 of an inch apart so that I get a pretty even lift on my bus here. I may have to put this one a little closer in order to fit this in. Or I'm going to grab, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to grab another one. I have one that's a little skinnier that should fit better in that little space. This one is, I believe this one's 3/8 that I'm going to use for the smaller areas. Yep, just barely fits in there, but it fits. That's all that matters, is that it fits. And just make sure that none of it hangs over anywhere. I'm going to put a little piece down here on my wheel. And then I need to cut a little sliver. That's not the easiest, but I'm going to cut this tiny little sliver and put it on our little light over here so that we don't have an issue there. And I'm thinking that should be fine. Okay, so let's pull our little bus in, or our little cover in here. And I am going to pull off all of this backing, and I'm going to add glue to it too, just because I want to make sure that it sticks well. Okay. Lots of foam tape. Like I said, if I would have had the giant sheets or the bigger roll, this part would have gone a little bit quicker, but it's all good, right? It's all good. Hope you guys are enjoying all the fun back to school themed projects that everybody is doing for this hop. Lots of fun stuff. I like doing these hops. They're really, really fun to participate in, as well as do the projects. And I usually try to do the other designers' projects. I will actually be on vacation, but when I get back, I will probably do all of the designers' projects from this hop. So I just like to add glue to the foam tape. One, it helps me have a little open time to slide this around if it's not exactly where I want it. And I accidentally got my little light over here stuck to the tape. So hopefully, yeah, it didn't hurt it. Okay. Glue all over my hand. Yes, this is kind of a messy process. So I want, where this was fussy cut, it's kind of flat on this wheel. So I want to make sure that I line that up as well as that. And there we go. Fix our little light here so it sticks out like it's supposed to. And then I'm just going to push. Yes, that worked out nicely with the foam being like that. Perfect. All right, so that will be our cover. And that will be all good to go. Now, I am not going to decorate the back. You could, but I kind of like it plain. I don't know. I may change my mind when we're all said and done here. But I do have this fun ribbon. Oh, goodness. I'm having struggles over here. So this ribbon, so cute with this paper. Tamara picked a good one when she put together what I was going to use for this hop. This is amazing color. So what I'm going to do is I am going to put this, I need to cut this, and then I'm going to use hot glue to do my ribbon because I don't tie bows like this very well. I have to tie them separately. So I just want enough of this to wrap around, and I'm going to cut it and then I will tell you what it is. So I'm going to cut this right here. And that is, let me get my larger yardstick here, and I will tell you that the piece I cut off that wraps around the binder perfectly is 20 inches long. So I am going to grab some fabric glue. All right, so I have some fabric glue here I'm going to use, and you can use your art glitter glue too. I just like to use fabric glue, and I'm going to run some fabric glue. Oof, goodness. Well, if it doesn't do that, I'm not quite sure. I think I have a bit of a clog here. That's what the problem is. So I'm just going to run that down. Go ahead and close that for now. And I'm going to grab a palette knife and just kind of flatten this a little. I don't want it to seep too much. So I'm going to pat it down. And set that aside. Okay. And this is our 20 inches, correct? Let me make sure I got the right one. I've got them side by side. Yes, 20 inches. Okay. So then I'm going to run this so that it's nice and straight on my cover. Right along there, and let it do its thing. Then I'm going to open this up. And I am going to do the same on the inside. Doesn't take a lot. And like I said, you can use your art glitter glue. It will work. I have fabric glue, and I'm going to use it. So I'm just going to pat this down so there's not a lot of excess. Don't want a ton of excess glue hanging around there. All it does is make a big mess. So I'm going to pull this up as straight as I can get it. And I probably didn't need 20 inches. I probably could have gone with a little less. But I'm going to clip this. I'm going to take a little bit of it off so I have a little straighter edge. And then I'm just going to use art glitter here to kind of push that seam down, which is not sticking as well as I would like it to, but you get the idea. And I will, okay, let's go ahead and use the fabric glue here. I think it just happens to work better. You could also use a hot glue gun, which is what I will use to adhere the bow on the front, just because it'll make things a little bit easier. So, yeah, that got a little messy, didn't it? It's all right. It wipes right off of there. And I will probably end up putting a strip of the paper inside of here too, just to cover that, because it is kind of ugly. But you get the idea. So that is our ribbon. So then I need to figure out my bow, and I will show you how I tie a bow. I've been asked many, many times how I tie bows. So I put mine in my hand to do it, and I give myself enough for a little tail. I wrap it around my 2 fingers twice. And then you want to take it over and under, including under your tail. And it's really hard to show on camera, but you want to bring that second one around. And then this portion will be under your thumb. When you get that there, leave your tail is still underneath. Pull this through. And you will get a pretty perfect bow every time, as you can see. And then you could just tighten that middle up and cut off the excess, or you can cut it to fit in the first place. So I'm just going to take off that because we will angle this. And see, you get this gorgeous bow every time. Love this bow. I love this ribbon. It's so pretty. Okay. So we will have our bow right there. I am going to fold these in and cut at an angle to get my little tabs at the end of my ribbon. Again, I'm going to fold in half as evenly as you can so you get a nice look to your tabs. And sometimes this part can be a little tricky. I have definitely struggled with it at times. And then just continue to shape your bow, whichever side of the bow looks best to you. And that will go right on there once we get my hot glue heated up. And I still have a little bit of ribbon left over. I'll probably use somewhere inside of there or something. I may even put a bow on the inside. Who knows? Once this gets all nice and dry, get rid of this string that's here. I don't want that. It may be fine to leave that in the end. I'm not sure yet, but we will add this bow towards the end. I also have one of the ephemera pieces that comes with this paper that says school days that I'm going to use somewhere on here. And I may add a couple other pieces of ephemera, like these cute little kids or something. I just am not sure yet. But when I get to that, I will show you. So that's basically all I'm going to do with the cover. Like I said, I'm going to put that school days on there. And this I'm mainly doing like for primary school, elementary school. You could do a second one for high school. I just thought this would be really fun for like school pictures. So I'll have a lot of photo mats and different stuff that I will add along with what comes in the binder. So I may not use everything that comes with the snap binder, but I will try to use as much of it as I can so I can show you some different ways to use it. So next we're going to do some of the pages. Okay, so I did add a little strip of this red with the white polka dot just to pick up the red in the apples. And I wrapped that all the way around the inside, as you can see. I'm still probably going to put something there. I'm not quite sure, but we'll do that. And I haven't glued my bow down, but I'm trying to debate whether I want it straight or at kind of a little angle. I kind of like it at an angle. And I also might actually add something more to the cover. I'm thinking of maybe just printing out, or excuse me, cutting out with my Cricut just basic font school days. So it's larger and fits up here. But I will get to that and I will show you what I did. So let's move on to some of the pages. And so this first one is going to attach to a divider. And what I have done here, I will show you. First, I have, grab my scoreboard here and show you what I'm going to do here. So firstly, I have a 10.5 by 7 inch. So we have 10 and, actually that's 10 5/8. Interesting. I don't know how that happened. Okay, so let's take a look. This should be 10.5. I'm not quite sure how that ended up at 5/8. Let's do it on this way. Yeah, it is. All right, well, let's see how this lays on here. It's going to go in this way. This is going to be by itself. That's why. Okay. Yes, it is 10 5/8, not 10 7 by 7, 10.5. You could cut it to 10.5, and I think I'm probably going to do that. So let me just fix this real quick. Grab a cutter here. I wanted this. I'm not sure how I ended up with a bigger than 10.5, but it's not much bigger. It's just a little, no, that's still bigger. All right. Bear with me here. We should be right at that 10.5 mark. I'm gonna try a different cutter actually. Sometimes cutters and, because what I wanted to end up with here was 6, which it does now, and then 4.5, which it does. So I'm not quite sure. Yeah, anyways, okay. So this is scored at 4.5 on the long side, the 10.5 side. And then I simply took my binder divider and laid it on my scoreboard and put this where I want it to lay with the other pages. And then I put this on top and I traced over with a white gel pen, which you can get at Country Craft Creations. Love these pins. Also what I wrote that. And then I punched it out with a regular hole punch. So easy peasy stuff there. All right, so then we have that. And then I cut a piece of what looks like burlap. I probably should have done this side. It's actually kind of cuter, but it is not possible now. I could recut it, but I'm gonna go ahead and stick with the burlap. That's, oh, I see why I did it. Okay. So this piece is 4 3/8 by 6 7/8. And what I'm going to do here is put this on the opposite side and line it up with my little black outline here. And then I am simply going to put a paper clip on there. Try to make sure that's all lined up. And I will do my marks again with that white gel pen. And then we'll just take that off and I can see where those go, and I can grab my little hole punch here and just do your best to get it right over those circles. And then when you put this on, it should line up pretty nicely. And it does. Okay. A little bit more here than I expected. All right, you can also put this on first and then put your holes in, which is probably what I should have done, but I didn't, so no worries. I'm just gonna glue this down. Try not to get your glue in those holes or it's going to make a big mess. And I'm just going to put that right over those holes and line it up as best as I can. I feel like I'm getting a little give here. All right. Make sure you get all that glue distributed just by burnishing. I'm just going to grab a bone folder and make sure I get it right, especially along those edges and where those holes are. Okay. Then I have taken a piece of the red that I have. Now this is my color's Imperial Red. It's got kind of a glitter to it, which I love. And one of the 4x6, I just rounded the corners on that. So the red is 4 1/4 by 6 1/4. And we are going to put this down on top of the red. Don't need that in my way at the moment. Just kind of eyeballing this. That was a pretty good eyeball. First try. Sometimes you can get it the first time, and sometimes it takes many, many tries. So don't worry if it takes you longer. It all goes together. All right, now this is just simply going to go on here like so. So we want to leave a little space here and kind of have it down. So I have mine about 1/2 inch from the top, and then I just have that little space at the bottom. But what I want to do here is just make sure that I make a mark. And I am going to use pencil for this because I can erase it if I can find my pencils. Goodness, losing it today already. All right. Once I have that lined up, I am going to make a mark here, and a mark here, and a mark here, and a mark here. And the reason for that is so I know where to put the glue. I don't want to put it on this because it can come out a lot easier. I want to put it on this portion rather than that portion. So I'm just going to glue that. And I am going to set this down right over top of the pencil marks that I made, because I know I lined that up already. But I go over them just a little bit. That way I cover my pencil marks. Just a quick little tip for you. Make your pencil marks a little off, and that way when you put this on, you can cover those pencil marks with what you're putting down. Just gonna flip this and make sure I have no glue seeping out the side, and I do not. And then I'm going, oh, that's a little crooked, actually. Yep, too late. Okay, well, it's all right. So next I'm gonna go in, I'm gonna leave that red, probably red. But I'm gonna cut a piece of white as a mat to go here. That will be, we are gonna go to, well, it's 6, close to 6. So 5 7/8 by 6 7/8. All right, set that aside. I want 5 7/8 by 6 7/8. All right, so I have my 5 7/8 by 6 7/8 piece of the white 65-pound smooth. That is going to go right in here. I'm going to dry fit this before I do my corner rounding. Using the 10mm on my corner rounder. And I'm going to go ahead and place this down, and then we'll put the holes in. I'm actually going to move my cutter. It's kind of in the way. I'll make sure everything is visible for you. And this will hold a full 5x7 photo in here, which is great. Oh, I forgot to not put glue where the holes go. That's okay. It'll just get a little glue on my desk. No worries. It happens. All right. So there we have that. And I feel like, oh yeah, I did need to re-round these. That's right. We cut a little off. That is what is looking funny to me. My black, the round wasn't matching. That would be why. Alrighty. So now we need a piece that is going to fit over here, and it is going to need to be 4 3/8 by 6 7/8. So I'll cut that. 4, and I'm sticking, and 3/8. You will see me use many cutters. I have lots. It's already 6 7/8. Yeah, I have a few cutters, and I use different ones for different things. I don't know why. I just do. All right, so we are going to round 2 of the corners. only 2. And those will be this will be the piece that will go down here. Perfect. All right. And let's see here. Yeah, I'm probably going to get a little glue in the holes. No worries, it wipes off, right? All right. Glue this mat down. And I like to try to line my mat on this side up with my mat on this side, which I did not do that first try. I'll try that again. Give myself a little more space. That's a little better. Okay. So now, all that burnished and looking good. And then I'm going to close this, and you can see I need to get those holes out of there. So I'm going to re-punch. Try to stay in the hole that you already made. And now we have that. And that will go in the binder independently. I will probably put some of the something on the side here. What would work? What do you think? Oh, here's where we could put this and make a pocket here. But then you couldn't put a 5x7, but you could put a 5x7 and then put something under it. I don't know, I'm kind of doing this as I go. That's too much. Well, as far as decorating goes, we'll go back to this one. I'm gonna get the next one done. Now, if you wanted to, you could put a magnet in here and could have put a magnet under the mat here, but I did not choose to do that. This is fairly heavy. The My Colors cardstock, the Artisan, and the paper all combined makes this pretty heavy. You could also put a tie closure or something. Just a matter of preference. Let's cut a bigger one of this and we'll turn it into a pocket. I think that, or this one. Hey, there we go. Let's use this one. So these pages that come with the binder are 8 3/8. So we want 9 3/8 by whatever width we want to do our pocket. I'm usually good with about 2 inches. So let's go with 9 3/8 first. And get that cut. And then we need 2 1/2. Let's go 3, and then the pocket will be 2 1/2. What do we have here? We have 3 1/2. Let's just see here what 3 would look like. We're going to leave this at 3. It's already 3 inches. So then I have 9 3/8 by 3. And if you didn't want this to be able to hold a lot, you could just do it as a tuck spot and do 8 3/8. So we're going to put this in at that 9 3/8. We're going to score it 1/2, score in at 1/2. So that would be at the 8 7/8 mark. And then it goes in like so. So we want to make sure you're on this side and score this at 3 so that your paper is facing the proper direction. And then I am going to notch this, I think. I recut that same piece, same measurements. This time I went in and I marked where the middle was, so I can tell you that to get your notch in the middle, you want to be right about that 4 1/8. And that's going to get you a lot closer to the middle than where my last one was. I'm not quite sure how that happened. Yeah, see, this one is way down here. I don't know. All right, so now I'm going to get these burnished. Pocket here. And then we'll just cut the little squares out of the bottom. This paper is really hard for for the eye to see where I'm cutting. And then I'm just going to go ahead and miter these as well. And I'm going to go ahead and miter the tops too. All right, so this is what you will have. And bring in your paper, your page, I should say. Make sure everything is going to line up and fit. And it does, which is great. I'm going to reburnish this a bit. And we are going to add glue to our 1/2 inch tabs. And then I just want to line this up with the right hand side of that page. Making sure that it doesn't go over and that it's nice and straight. And I'm just going to burnish it. And there you have a fun little pocket for that page. And I will, like I said, I'll probably add more to this. I'm not sure what. Oh, yes, I am. Losing it. So I have a stamp in my stash that makes all of these fun doodles. Now, if you don't have a doodle stamp, you can do this by hand with a ruler and a pen. And you could put these down to use as small photo mats. This is a smaller one. I might put something like this inside of here. Not quite sure what I'm doing exactly with it yet, but those are some ideas that I will definitely go over everything that I put in here. But for now, that side of that is complete. And we will add, you know, you could probably add like, I don't know, there's so many of these fun little tags and such that come with this, that ephemera. And we have this cute little school bus. Lots of fun stuff that we can put on here. And for some reason my pocket feels like it just wants to buckle, and I'm not liking that very much, but we'll fix it. All right, so that is that page. And like I said, I'll probably do more embellishing to that. And I'll probably leave the back open for journaling. I may actually just, that's what I would probably do with one of these. Or we have this adorable strip of buses that you could put on as a little tuck spot. And it also enhances that page a little bit. You could put one on the top and one on the bottom as a tuck spot. Is an idea. So I'm going to set that one aside and move on to the next. So the next one, this is one of the pocket pages that has the 2 for 4x6. And what I did here is I took one of the actual pages that comes with it. So the black and white polka dot is what I used here. And I cut these down. I cut it in half, and these were cut down. They're a little different. 4 1/4 by 6 1/8, and this one is 4 1/8 by 6 1/8. And the reason for that is just the way it cut. They're not quite exact because of the 8 3/8. So that's what you end up with. Again, I have my fun little stamped on pieces. Sorry, I'm losing my voice. And these are pieces that are 3 7/8 by 5 7/8. And that's what I have to put on here. Now, I am not going to glue these because you may just want to put your photos on. You know, you may not want this extra. So, let me see if I can remember which one's which. One is taller than the other. So I just have these suspended on here. I don't have them glued. I could put some temporary tape on there if I wanted to. And then I kept the pieces that were cut off with the holes because I wanted to attempt, and now I say attempt because I'm not sure it'll work, to put these on the outside because I thought it would be cute. And I think that's how they go. Yeah, just like so, maybe. Yeah. Losing it. So that's what I'm going to try to do with those. Then on the back side, I took one of the 4x6s. D is for doll. So cute. And I put that one in the top. I rounded the corners. And I put that one up here in the top. You could put it in the bottom too. And then just add a photo to the bottom with the polka dots as your background. Super cute. Then I have this fun little half page. This one, I have the other portion somewhere else in here that I will be using. But this one, I am just simply going to put a border like so with like a flag-ish. I'm probably going to cut the bottom of this like a flag. Just to give it a little texture. And you could do it either way. You could do it on this side, or you could do it on the other side. For me, I like this side. And that's just going to go on there. And then I can add like a paper clip or something to add to that. I'm not quite sure what yet, but this will go on as so. We'll leave the back for adding stuff. All right, so I'm going to continue on, and we're going to make another of this one. You've already seen me make this one. I'm going to mat it after, but I just wanted to go over it again because this one was measured wrong and I had to do some cutting. I've had some spotty internet during this process trying to get this tutorial all ready for you. So it's a little sketchy here and there. But what we have again is our black at 10.5 wide by 7, and we're going to score that at, if I can find my scoring tool, here we go. We're going to score this at 4.5. Okay, and then I'm going to grab my corner rounder just like the other one here, and I'm going to do this at 10 millimeters, and I'm going to actually fold this. No, I don't need to, it's not the same. I'm going to go ahead and round all of my corners, so all 4. Okay, and then we're just going to fold that over. Make sure it's nice and straight. And again, I'll add the white like we did on this one, the 65-pound smooth mats on these two. But I will tell you those measurements again, just to make sure. And then I've grabbed a piece of the school paper with the black and white. And this is going to be 4 3/8 by 6 7/8. And I'm just going to round these 2 outside corners. And we'll go ahead and put those on and then do our holes. The other one I did the holes and then put this on, and it makes it a little harder. So we're going to do it this way this time. Get all of our glue on there. And I just want to place this down on the paper as even as I can. And don't worry if it goes on and you don't see as much black on this side. It doesn't really matter because, I mean, if you'd like to see more black all the way around, because this is an opening piece, it doesn't really make that big of a difference. Plus we're going to cut holes in it. So I'm going to go ahead and grab the first one I made so that I can make sure these line up the same. And I'm going to lay it on top. I'm going to grab my white gel pen and I'm just going to trace out those circles so that they line up exactly the same. And like I said, I will add the white 65-pound smooth. So this one on the inside piece will be 5 7/8 by 6 7/8, and this one will be 4 3/8 by 6 7/8. Okay, I'm going to put that one back in there. I'm going to do some duplicating in each of the dividers for this. So you will see things twice. So I'm going to go ahead and go over where I put the gel pen and get my holes punched. And now that's right. Now when I do cut the white, I will have to put it on. I should have probably done it all, but I wanted to just show that portion of it to you on camera. So now I've cut the yellow matte. That's going to be like the red one here. It's 4 1/4 by 6 1/4. And for this one, I use the gold zinnia My Colors. It's got the little dots. Go ahead and round that out all the way, all 4 corners. And then we have this fun 4 by 6 from the sheet of cut aparts here. I'm going to go ahead and round all those corners as well, all 4. And that will go down on top of the yellow, and we'll add it just like we did that one. Okay? So, I'm going to go ahead and slip those inside because I don't need to do that again on camera. I just wanted to show you again how to make that one. Next up, we are going to do this pocket. Now, I did one, but when I filmed it, I had cut it wrong. And then I had to wait for my internet to stop being sketchy to come back on. So this is what it'll look like. You'll have a nice pocket here to put a photo mat in. However, I'm going to duplicate it and show you again. So what you need is a 9 3/8 by 3 1/2 inch piece of the decorative paper. I'm going to score this at half. I'm putting this in at my 9 3/8. And then we are going to score this at 1, 2, 3, 4, 8 7/8, or you can flip it and do a half if you feel more comfortable doing it from this side, or you can do both. And then I just want to score at 3 lengthwise. And I am going to get my scissors and go in and cut out those squares. You can also do this at an angle if that's what you prefer. I do it both ways. Sometimes you'll see me just miter straight across at an angle, or I'll cut the squares out and do it this way. So it works both ways. But you do want to miter them even after you cut those squares out. All right, and the top ones as well. All right, so I got all those done and mitered. And I like to look at mine too. I'll fold all of these first, and then I'll show you. I like to just make sure I don't have any weird little pokey things sticking out of my pockets. And I am going to grab an envelope punch board, which is what I predominantly use to make my notches. You don't have to. You can use a circle punch or a notch punch, whatever you like. But for this one, we're going to be right about that 4 1/8 mark. That should put you pretty close to the middle, if not right in there, if you're using this. And then, of course, we're going to use this one as the graph. And I am just going to get the glue on the tabs. Those 1/2 inch tabs. And then I usually like to start at the bottom. You can do the top, or you can put it in your scoreboard like so, and just butt that right up against to get it going. And I can see I got this one a little short. I probably scored it a little off, and that's okay. Just try to make sure it's even. If it's a little off on the top, make sure it's a little off on the bottom. So then you have this pocket to put another photo mat in. And now we have 2 of those. And I will go back and embellish these with the ephemera pieces, the die cuts that come with the school collection that I have. But I am just putting these in the book, and then I will go back and do some final touches. So the next grouping, I want to have 2 one for each. So I've already put this one together, so I will show you this one. This is one of the full pocket pages. I'm just going to pull everything out of here. And I have cut this piece 6 by 8.5. And I'm going to add a large photo mat. I'm going to go ahead and round all of my corners because I just think it looks better. Not the ones on here, I don't think. I mean, I could, but... So this will hold a 5 by 7. This is the, again, the white 65-pound smooth, 5 1/4 by 7 1/4. So you can put a full 5 by 7 school photo on here, or 2 smaller photos, whichever you prefer. And I'm going to grab some repositionable tape to put this on. I don't necessarily want to glue this one down just yet. And I may just decide later that I don't want to use a mat. I might want to just stick a picture on there. So this eliminates that. Probably didn't need that much, but it's all right. So I'm just going to try to line this up in the middle as best as I can. And that's pretty good. And that is going to give me, you know what, I just put that on the wrong side. This is supposed to be on the B side. I want to see all that fun stuff on the other side. I just put it on the wrong one. It happens. All right, so for this, we're then going to take this. I fussy cut this out from the collection. And what I want to do is just kind of position this, and then I will trim it. So I'm just going to add glue to this very little bit of end, and this was, like I said, fussy cut. I want it to come out from the corner. So once I get this lined up where I want it, I can see how far that glue can go. And I can see that I just need to put it on the tips, like so. It's just an added little embellishment, and then I'm going to go in with my scissors and cut off any excess, which there's a tiny bit here and there, and yours will be different depending on how you fussy cut that, or if you even do that. And that just gives it this fun little flag. You could put it down once you have a photo on here. You could glue it completely down. I am not choosing to do that, but I am going to go ahead and round these corners. I just have this feeling it'll look better. So let's do that. It just looks more finished to me. And because the envelope, or the clear container that it goes in, is so plain, I just think that would look better. And then the back, you have this gorgeous scenery. And I just cut a couple of the mats. I'm going to go ahead and round these two out of that. Again, it's called Gold Zinnia by Colors. And I'm just going to go in and round these. And then I'll give you the size of both those mats as well as the white. I probably should have prepped and had all these already rounded, but I did not. It's been a crazy week. All right. Couple more here. Bear with me. All right, so the yellows are 5 1/4 by 3 1/2, and the whites are 5 by 3 1/4. I think they're supposed to be 5 1/8, but let's see here. Oh, that's correct. I don't know why that is. Okay, let's grab a ruler. Trying to use my scoreboard isn't always good. 5 1/4, yeah, by 3 1/2, and the white 5 by 3 1/4. Okay, so I have those. I'm going to go ahead and glue the white to the yellow mats. and I want them on the polka dotted side. You can use the My Colors that has the polka dots. It's not as defined on one side, so it's more like debossed than embossed. So you can pick and choose if you want the more subtle look to the polka dots or if you want the whole embossed look. And there's lots of colors that you can coordinate with your papers in these My Colors. I have a little bit of everything. I have a regular canvas My Colors, one of the glimmery My Colors, and a couple of these with the dots in this project. All right, so for this, these will stick on the page like so. Let me just go up a little and try to equal these out as best as I can. Make sure that I'm in camera view for you. So that's how those will go. And then I'm probably going to add one of the, I do have some of these fun die cuts that come with the collection. Just trying to decide which one I like. I mean, you could do any of them and just stick it in the middle. Would be what I would, there we go, there's the one that matches the page the best. So for this, I'm just going to stick it, I'll just glue it across the middle, and then these will be able to sit. You can pull them out if you want to, in there. Or I may put it off to the side. I'm not sure yet. But I'll get to that when I do my final touches. For these, I am not going to glue these down just yet, just in case I do something in final touches that requires me to move these. I don't want to have to rip anything. So if you have yours the way you want it, I would say go ahead and glue these down. I am not positive yet, so I am going to use repositionable. So now you have that side and you have that side. This will be our front side, and this will slide right into our pocket page. You just have to kind of watch your little flaggy things there. And that will be that page. Super fun. All right, and then I have a couple. I will have another one like that, but I'll have a couple pages like this where I've just put some, this was a stamp, but you could also doodle this on like I did the white here to make it look like a chalkboard. Just photo mats, and I wanted to have one of these in each section so that you could add more photos. And I probably will add some, again, some of the cut aparts and die cuts with that. So let's move along. Alright, so next we are going to do some decorating on one of the dividers. And for this, I am going to cut a piece of the paper with the apples to 6.5. And I am going to take that to 8.25 in length. Set my scraps aside. And that will be our cover. I will be adding some things to it. Once we have this on here, then we can do the holes. You could actually do this a little more than 6.5, it looks like. But I'm fine with that little extra showing. You could go to, if you wanted less on the side showing, you could do 6 3/4, or excuse me, 6 5/8. But I'm fine with that. Okay. So let's go ahead and we will glue that down. And then I'll cut the holes out once I get that all stuck down. And I want more on this side because we have to punch those holes out. So you want to make sure that your paper is all the way over your holes when doing these binders. I've discovered this is my first one, and they are quite fun. I will say, lots of different things you can do with the different pockets they give you and such. Just gonna make sure there's not a lot of glue in my holes there. And I seem to have, there it is. Grab my hole punch. I'm just gonna go in and punch those holes out. And so we have that. Now I'm not doing any decorating on my actual little tabs. I'm just gonna leave them craft. Craft seems to be a good color for school themed items. So for this, I'm gonna go back and decorate. You know what? Let me see here. I had some things. Let's set my book aside that I wanted to add. Let me see if I have anything over here in my pile of stuff. We could do somewhere here. I have some pockets that I had made using just regular envelopes. Aha, here is one right here. And you can decorate these. So what I was thinking was to decorate this with a strip of paper. This is just a standard envelope. Can't remember exactly what size, but you could also make a pocket. I just cut the end off. I sealed it, cut the end off, and then used my punch board to punch out that notch. And that's what I'm going to do. But I'm probably going to go back in and decorate this some. But for now, I am just going to glue the pocket down. And I'll grab one of these envelopes and show you how I did that. It's just a quick way if you have envelopes, which most of us that scrapbook also make cards. So most of the time you will have some envelopes laying around in your crafty stash. And if you don't, like I said, you can make envelopes with the envelope punch board or other items. There's items out there that you can make them with. So this is simply going to have, I'll have to cut this. I don't think this, oh no, that's the right size. So you'll have this nice little pocket, and then we can pop something cute up on here. Some of that ribbon that I was given that I love. Okay, so I wasn't loving that plain white look of the envelope, so I cut out some of the, what looks like notebook paper. And this is 4 1/4 by a 4 7/8, and then I just notched it with my envelope punch board at 2 1/8. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and glue this. I mean, you could do this one too, but it's a little busy. You do whichever paper you're working with and works for you. Then this could be done. There's so many different school themed papers that this could be done in. You don't even have to do it in school theme. It's just the whole theme of our hop. So that is what I am doing. So I am gonna maneuver this a little bit better so it is on the pocket a little bit straighter. And then I have this fun little one of the die cuts that I'm gonna pop up on some foam. Just gotta grab some foam. And let's see here, let's go with this bigger stuff. Grab some larger scissors. I don't like to use those little tiny, Well, I don't like to use my good scissors because so I'm just going, I've put this piece that I cut out. I didn't like that plain white look of the envelope. So I cut out a piece of the paper that looks like notebook, and it is 4 1/4 by 4 7/8, notched on my envelope punch board at 2 1/8, and then I adhered that down. And now I'm just going to take one of the fun little die cuts from the collection. I've added some foam to the back, and I'm just going to pop that right up on the side of here. Oops, that's a little on the crooked side. Gotta love that. And I do that. There we go. And there we have this fun little picture on the side. I also have some, figure out where I set them, these fun little red dots that I could put a few in here. Haven't done that yet, but I will probably do that. And then you just put your little photo mat inside your pocket, and there's your first tab. Now the other side, I think I'm going to decorate with this. So again, I'm going to go in, I have enough, do as much on this side as I can. I like that black look up there. So we're going to go with, make sure this is 8 1/4 first. 8 1/4 seems to be the perfect length. But before I did, what did I do? I did 6 1/2. So this one I think I'm just going to take a little bit further. So 6 1/2, we're going to go over a little bit more, so it goes closer to that edge. And let's see how that looks. Yeah, I think that works. Okay. Oh, I like that side too. No, I want the notebook side. All right. So I'm just going to glue this down. And remember that we're gluing these closer over the holes more. So this one is a little wider than the one I did on the flip side, and that is fine. But I would rather see a little more of that craft here than on the other side. Just burnish this glue out. And go in. Should be able to get your hole punch right into the holes that were made before. Once it's in there, kind of push down. Once you get and then it'll punch it out the same spot. So I'm not sure if I'm going to do any decorating on that side. I kind of just like that it's like that, but now that I'm looking at it, we could add a little strip of this. Yes, let's do that. So I need about 1 inch. Let's do 2. We're just gonna, you know what, let's do 3 and we'll just make it, no, 2. 2's good. And we'll just make it a little tuck pocket. So I need that 8 1/4. Put that right along there and add glue to 3 sides only. This is kind of fun because I'm doing it as I go, and it's my first one of these goes at a binder type album. If you follow me, you know I normally make albums from scratch, so this is kind of a fun new learn as I go experience. All right, so now I have this fun little tuck spot that I can put another photo mat in. I don't have one cut right at the moment, but that's all right. So let's just put that in the binder. To decide, I really like this in the front, so I'm going to put it after that. And let's see what we think of this. Yes, because we have those apples there, super cute. All right, so let's do our next divider. So the next one, I am going to use this paper. So we know that we want 6 5/8. And then we're going to take this to 8 1/4. And that will go on our next. Ooh, that one seems kind of big. No, it's fine. All right, so I have that piece cut, and I have cut a piece of the Imperial Red, my colors. It's got the kind of glitter. And then and I cut that to 5 1/4 by 7 1/4, and then I cut a white piece of 5 by 7. And that's going to go on there. So let's start with our paper that goes down. And remember, just like the last one, you want to cover those holes. So make sure when you're lining up your cardstock, or your paper, that it covers all those holes. All right, now I'm going to take my hole punch, and I am going to push down in to that hole. And that'll give me my punch. And then I have to decide if I want to round these. I think I do. The square looks nice, but I'm going to go ahead and round these corners, all 4. And same with the white. Now, if you were going to put a 5 by 7 photo, you could up the, you can do one of 2 things. You can up the size of your mat and this mat, or you can just trim your photo down just a little bit to fit on this nicely. So that's what we're going to have there. Let's go ahead and put the white down first on top of the red. All right, and then we will put the red down. And keep in mind, this probably won't be perfectly centered. Mainly, I mean, you can. But because we have, you know, our holes here, it might not be completely centered. Just gonna go around and make sure everything is burnished and is sticking nicely. And then again, we can add one of those fun elements like we have the last one. Just trying to see what I have. See, like there's the sciencey one that matches the background. I don't know that I want to do that one though. You just never know. This one with the glasses is super cute. We're gonna do that one. I like that one and the shape of it too. So I'm just gonna grab my foam again. Gonna cut a couple pieces of the foam here and put them on. And then I'm just gonna peel off the backing. And I forgot to do it on the last one, but when I do these like this with the foam, I do like to add a little bit of glue to that sticky stuff, just to make sure that it stays stuck. And I didn't put my foam all the way down, so if you slide a picture on here, you'll still be able to do so. So I'm just going to pop that on there like so. And here's a good spot for these. Let me grab these. These are the Spellbinders 3, 4, 5, and 6 millimeter Fashion Poppy. These are self-adhesive flat back pearls. And I am just going to grab a couple of these little guys for fun. And I'm going to put them on the top up here. I'm going to do them right here. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. I like to do things in threes. They say that is best for the eye. So we're going to go big to small. And these do have sticky, but I just don't think it's enough. So I add glue. And then I can straighten them out. Yeah, that's cute. Okay. Now I'm going to set this one aside and we'll go back to the back, which I'm probably just going to decorate with paper again. But let me grab one of those envelopes so I can show you how I made that. Alright, so I didn't find one the same size as the white ones that I had, but I did give you those measurements. I found a black one, which will work as well. This is a standard, I believe, 5x7 card envelope, so it is 5 1/8 inches tall, 7 1/4 inches wide. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to open this up. And I am going to add some water to the, I am not an envelope licker. Call me crazy. I don't know. I don't do that. And I used to have one of those little things that wets it, but I don't know where it went, so I just used my finger. So we are simply going to get this sealed. You just want to cut it to the size you want. If you want the whole thing, you just cut a little sliver off. I do not want this larger than 5, so I'm going to take it to 5 and I'm going to cut that off. And you could still use this too as a little tuck spot, put a little piece of paper, and we may do that. And then for the notch, I'll use my envelope punch board. Again, this is a little over 5 1/8. That is not my envelope punch board. Let's try this again. Oh, I'm losing it this morning. All right, so I want my notch. Let's see here. I'm gonna go right to about just a little past 2 1/2. It may not be right in the center, but that's okay. And then that's going to give you this little pocket. Easy peasy way to make a pocket. You can, like I said, also make your own. And I don't know that I will use that, but I wanted to show you how I do those. All right, so next we have one of these fun divider pages, and I'm trying to decide if I want to use that one or the stripes for a little bit more pizzazz. I think I'm going to use the striped one, actually. And these come, yeah, I like that. Okay, so then I have the green. This is My Colors Queen's Fern, and this again is one of the ones with the dots, which I just love. And I am going to place this on here, kind of close to those holes, but leaving a little. Now, I cut this to, I believe, let me grab my ruler instead of trying to do it with a cutter. 5 3/4 by 8 1/4. So we're going to first glue this. And I'm not going to round these ones. Uh-oh, I let my glue sit open too long. Just fix that. Okay. So I'm going to put this green down as a mat, so to speak. And I want about 1/4 inch, I think, of my, goodness, this side here showing. It's kind of hard with these stripes. They mess with your eyeballs. At least they do mine. Let me just see where I'm at here. Probably better to measure from this side. Yep, that's about correct. Okay. So, burnish this down. Once we put something else on top, it won't be so messing with my eyes. And I just dumped my spray bottle in my trash can. Goodness. Okay. And then I have the ones with the apples. Now this was a scrap, so I cut these to 3 1/4 by 4 1/4 so that you could put smaller pictures. And we're just going to glue one of those down. Towards the top corner here. You could do it either way. I think I'm going to do it on this side. No, I want this side. Make up my mind. Leave a little bit of that green showing on the side and on the bottom. And then we have white that can go on top, which I'm just going to do with my repositionable. And then we have another one that is 3 1/4 again by 4 1/4. If I wouldn't throw it, goodness. All right. And yes, these are going to overlap just a touch, and that is okay. But what I don't want to do is overlap it that way. I want to overlap it with the actual apple paper here. A little more. There we go. Hence why I used that repositionable tape up here. All right, and then again, I have another 3 by 4 in the white that I'm just going to use my repositionable. And put that one down. Oof, crooked. Goodness. Let's try again. There we go. So that is a fun page, and I will embellish this with something. I'm not sure what yet. Let's do... Where do the little red things go? You could even put two smaller photo mats or circle round ones for, you know, those little tiny refrigerator, I think they call them, that you get with your school pictures. A lot of times they give you those little teeny tiny ones and you don't know what to do with them. So that is an idea. I'm gonna do my beads up, or flatbacks up here on the side. And I'm gonna do 3 of the same larger ones on this one rather than switching it up. It's kind of Christmassy, but that's okay. Primary colors. Great for school theme projects, great for Christmas, whichever. It's all good. All right, cleaning up my glue that's seeping a little there. But I like to put a little glue on just because I don't want to take a chance that they're not going to stick. So now what I want to do maybe is add the little apple in the middle here. Super cute. That's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to use my repositionable. You could turn it into a magnet that holds your pictures down. You can add more to this if you like, as well as embellishing the back, which I'm not sure. I think what I'll do with the back, the same thing we did last time, and I will just make a fun little tuck spot here. All right, so this is a little shorter because we had cut it for there, so but that's okay. I'm gonna pull the sticker from my colors off of here. We don't need that in our way. All right. We're gonna glue this on 3 sides. Make it a fun little tuck spot. Leaving a little bit of that black and white pizzazz underneath that I am loving. All right, so now we have this fun little tuck spot. And you could add other stuff to this as well. You could put you know, bus here. I kind of like that bus. That's cute. Just looking through all of my... Oh, I like this one better, actually. Let's do this one. Yeah, I like that one. I'm going to pop this up on a little bit of foam. Get my foam tape out. Oh, wrong answer. Meant to put that on the other side because I want to leave it. Well, let's see here. Yeah, we'll put the whole thing on. That's fine. I thought I was going to have some overhang and I wouldn't want to have foam there, but in the end, I think it will look better just doing it this way. So I am going to do that. Goodness. All right, peel off that backing. Stick into my fingers. Add some glue just to make sure we get a good stick. And I'm just going to put that little bus right down on my tuck pocket. So cute. All right. And then again, we can place a, this is not a photo mat, however, I will turn it into one, and we will put that in there. So I'm going to say, photo mat for this, probably, we'll go with a 5.5 by 7.5 should fit. Yeah. All right, let's go with that. Let's get this in here. And I'm going to cut this black to 5.5 by 7.5. Again, another spot for a big 5 by 7 photo. Perfect. Just like so. So we have this side, and then we have this side. And you could add more of those little red pearls if you wanted to. All right, so let's put these in the book really quick. Actually, let's go back to this one so we can do the back side of this one, which I'm doing with this paper here, I believe is what I was doing. Maybe. Let me make sure. No, we're going to do this one. All right, so I've cut this one, the burlap looking one, to 6 5/8 by 8 1/4. And I want this paint one is much funner. I did repeat the patterns quite a bit in this book, but that's okay. Sometimes you just work with what you have. Okay, so we're going to put this down. Again, we want to cover the holes. And have a little bit of that craft showing all the way around at the same time. So, I need to get this down just a bit. There we go. And sometimes burnishing can be a little harder when you have a pop-up on the other side, but it can be done. So that will be what's on this side, just for decoration. You could put a picture on here. You could add more ephemera if you want. Again, we're going to punch those holes. Just put your, make sure before you click that it is in the hole, the little stand that goes in there. So push down a little, make sure that it's in there, and then your holes will be even every time. So we have one more a divider, which is this one. And this is the one that has this paper. So we'll have this paper on the back, this paper on the front. I kind of love these little Harry Potter glasses. Again, these are 6 5/8 by 8 1/4, and we will glue those down. And I'm probably going to use that black envelope that we cut. That's somewhere. I might use the smaller version. I'm not quite sure. All right, so let's finish up the last few. There are a couple pages, I will tell you, that I did not end up using. A couple of the dividers is what I didn't use. There was a polka dotted one and then one with dot grid, and I just didn't use them. I can add them later, but I just really wanted to give you some ideas of what you can do with these fun little binders. So for this one, I'm going to make an extra page, and what I did here is I cut to 6 3/4 by, I don't know why this is so big. It should be 8 1/4. So let's fix that really quick. The 6 3/4 is correct. However, it should be the same as this, and it's not. All right. So we're just going to trim this to 8 1/4. And then I rounded my corners, so I'm going to re-round those. The bottom one there, just the outside too. And then I cut this fun paper with a little old-fashioned ephemera. And I had already cut my holes, and I also need to trim this down now a little bit, because I trimmed the other, so we have to trim this to match. And this piece is, let's see here, 6 5/8 by 8 1/8, and that should fit. I can redo my, nope, it's perfect. Okay, so I'm going to put that down. This time I'm kind of trying to avoid those holes with the glue. I keep putting the glue right on the holes, and then it gets stuck to my hole punch. I don't want that. Alright, so let me just put this down. Just trying to line it up as best as I can. There we go. This is just a fun little page that you can put pictures on. I didn't do 3 of the little fold-out elements like the first 2 sections, so I wanted something fun for this section as well. And then on the back, I was just actually going to add this on here, and I'm just going to glue it at the top portion and the bottom portion, so it's kind of like a tuck spot slash belly band rather than a full pocket. So you can write on here and tuck a picture or other mementos in there. And this is what was left from one of the dividers that I did cut to use in a different way. And you could embellish this further if you wanted to. So that is what we have for that. And then I'm going to decorate this one, but I wanted to show you. So for a couple of the plastics, let's do these first because this one's a little harder. The sheet protectors, the covers that hold photos, what I did here is I just simply cut paper to use as photo mats in a couple of these, and I will put one in each one of my sections. This one I kind of cut the paper out to collage. These are 3x4 and an 1/8, and these are, this is 6, I believe, by 4 and an 1/8. Yes, so 6 by 4 and an 1/8, 3 by 4 and an 1/8. These are 4 and an 1/8 by 6, 4 and an 1/8 by 6. And for these, I just put one on one side, and as you can see, I flip them. So these make for great, super simple photo mats. Just use your really pretty papers. For this one, I cut a piece of the black, 6 1/4 by 8 1/4, and we are going to cover it with the notebook looking paper. We could do either one. I'm going to do this one. I really like this paper. Probably shouldn't repeat so many times, but I love it. I have 6 by 8, and then I did a white to put on the back. So let's go ahead and just, you know, I'm going to stick with my guns and do the stripes that looks like a notebook. Makes for a nice background for a photo. So we'll just glue that down on the black. Line it up as best as I can. And like I said, I will probably further embellish this even more, but for the sake of video, I don't feel the need to do all of the decorating on camera. Just to give you the basic ideas of what kinds of pages you can add on and what you can do with the pockets and pages that come with it. Like I said before, this is my first one, so I'm learning as I go and showing you what I'm learning as I go. So that will be that, and that will slide right in. Whoops, oh, I think I got that one a little bit wide. It's a little snug, so I might have to just slice a teeny bit off one side with it. And I think it's because I put paper on both sides. Had I not done that, it might not be as tight. But that's okay. I had room to slice a little bit off. Just make a little tiny difference. There we go. Now, well, it's still pretty snug. All right, let's try another little sliver. Don't have to cut a whole lot off. Just a tiny bit can make a difference. Somehow I just got it a little too much. I'm gonna go ahead and take a little off the other side so they line up better. That'll work. See, I'm literally just taking a tiny little bit off. Mismeasured there. Oh yes, that slides right in now. So that will be that. And then on the outside of this, I might actually just put something else cute on here, like these little buses. Might just put that on the paper. Let's do that. Let's cut. So what we have here is 6. I'm going to cut a strip of this bus border to 6. Oh, and look at that, right at the bus. And I am going to glue it to the bottom of this. Give this page a little something something. I'm going to go part way up. I don't want to go all the way to the bottom of the page. All right. I'll put that back in our divider. There we go, super cute. And like I said, you can embellish even further. You can add things, like I'm probably gonna put this on the outside of this bucket just because it's super cute. And I will do that with foam tape. So this is one of the 3x4s. I'm gonna cut this. Right now I'm just cutting foam. I know you can't probably see exactly what I'm doing, but it is just foam cutting. All right. So I'm gonna take off the backing of this. I'm not gonna put glue on this one because if I change my mind later, it's easier to pull this sticky off the plastic if you don't put a lot of glue on there. So keep that in mind. Okay, I just want this right here. So cute. Love it. Super cute. Okay. So lastly, I'm going to use this black and white striped one that comes with the binder that I have. And I have cut a piece of that yellow, my colors, to 5 3/4. Sorry about that. Loud cars in my neighborhood. By 7 1/4. And we're going to go ahead and round those corners. Glue this, but I'm only going to glue it around the edge. So what I mean by that is just on 3 sides, because this is going to become a kind of a fun little tuck spot if you want to add things. I mean, what's better than having extra places to put stuff, right? All right. So we just want to burnish that around those 3 sides that I put the glue. And what did I have here? And then I am going to add my other portion. Remember, I made these pockets using envelopes. You can make a pocket or do the same thing I did and just close up an envelope and then cut it to the size that you want. I'm going to pull my photo mat out of there. And this has to go on this. I don't, because I want to be able to stick stuff in there, so. And then I have a piece of this cut to 4 1/4 by 4 7/8, and I'm gonna notch this at 2 1/8. Make sure it's lining up and put that on there. All right. And there is a pocket. Now this one I did, I believe, like a double photo mat. Yeah, this is like one that opens. So then we'll have that there. And I don't think this will fit in here. So we need to cut one. Oh no, this goes on the back side. Okay, so flip it over. And then you have a 5 1/4 by 7 1/4 photo mat, and I'm going to do the same thing. I am just going to put my glue on 3 sides. And line that up. And I think I just did that backwards. I did. Whoops. Goodness. We want the pocket to be open to the outside of the page, not the inside. It's a good thing it hadn't dried yet. Let me try that again. So I want the opening on the opposite side of the holes. Like so. And then this is one of those fun things. If you have these jelly roll pens, you could totally make this look like a chalkboard. Just by going along and making these fun little marks with the white jelly roll pen. Works amazingly. You can also do this in black on the white. I used a stamp for a couple of mine, but I also did some free work as well. And if you want this perfect, you can use a ruler. I'm just going along and making some little marks. And then you can put a photo on there. And I am going to grab one of the fun ephemera pieces. I think I'm going to grab, let's see here, this one. No, let's grab one that doesn't have black on it. As much black anyways. Oh, how about, yeah, we'll do this one. Grab a piece of foam. And there you go. Oh, I just put that on upside down. Whoops. Whoops, 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 whoops. That is the back. Alright, so I want this here, Jen, not up there. Okay, that would make it better. Alright, so let's put these in the book. And I will also show you that the cover, I did add this. I took the front page of the paper collection and I just cut out the word school, added a little pop of that yellow, just to add a little something. So what we have so far in this section, we have this that we made, a fun little table of contents, little pockets made out of an envelope. Here's a place for photo mat pocket. Our page here, this is one of those that was doodled. So let's put in our next divider. Or did I put them all? Oh, they're all in there. Yeah, they're all in there. So we have this. And this page, pocket page, this fun page, here's a divider. This needs this. This is what I was looking for. So I made this page because we didn't have one of the other type pages. So we're gonna have this and this. And I'm gonna put this plastic one here in the front because I really, really like it. So I'm going to go with those. And then in our final area, I do have one empty one, but I'm going to leave it. Two empty ones, sorry. I do have a full one and then one with two holes at the top and one at the bottom, but I'm going to leave those. So we will have that. And we'll put this one in between. This back section I thought was just nice with picture. Some mats for pictures more than anything. So you have the first one that you can put your mat on and add a picture. So that is how I made my binder. I hope that you guys make one of these and have a wonderful day. And make sure you go to the link to the next person on the hop. Bye-bye.